Welcome to the world united. Welcome to the world united.
So, Zach Thompson is a filmmaker, environmentalist, humanitarian, and he's going to be talking to us about stewards of the planet. Knowing a little bit more about Zach. Zach Thompson is a world traveler and bridge builder between cultures. As a 25-year filmmaker, he has honed his skill of storytelling. An entrepreneur starting such businesses such as Autism Training Solutions to help educators work better with children with autism. Co-founder of Physio, an online training video platform to help medical students reinforce critical concepts to pass the United States medical licensing exam and become great doctors for the world. Zach married the talented Elise of Choctaw descent. They adopted two young boys, half Tongan, half Black, and a Dominican. They had two more babies to make a veritable United Nations, combining ethnicities to create a multicultural family nucleus. Zach's focus in life is to bring more understanding, love, and light to the world. Zach is an award-winning director and producer known for his work on big-budget movies like Avatar, 2009, and also many other big-budget popular films such as Independence Day, Dumb and Dumber. He also directed the documentary Finite Water that went on to win over 30 awards. Thank you so much, Zach. We're just thrilled to have you with us. And as I was telling you earlier, the moment I read the word avatar, I went from moderator to fangirl, and that's how I'm going to be. So yeah, would love to hear from you, Zach.
Oh, that is, well, thank you so much. I am, it is such a pleasure. Boy, there's so much to talk about, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. But shall I begin?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, I thank you for your time and everyone joining today. It is actually very encouraging to know that there are many of us out there that yearn to find balance in this beautiful world. This planet has been a beautiful calamity of ecosystems to outright mass extinction for millions of years. And when humans showed up, we had very little effect until we did. Since humans have appeared on Earth, estimates show 77% of all wilderness has been destroyed. 10% of that has occurred since 1990. Deforestation and overharvesting of fishing, wasting and polluting water, and a litany of overindulgences and downright irresponsible and greedy behavior are some major contributors to the problems we now face. The overwhelming majority of humans have a belief that God sent us to Earth to be stewards over the planet. And on that responsibility, what grade would we get today? Is there room for improvement? This stewardship bestowed upon humanity is an enormous responsibility. And I am certain that those listening agree that we need to step up and fulfill our duty. We have to ask ourselves, what am I personally doing to make things better? This planetary ecosystem is incredibly beautiful and incredibly powerful. And Mother Nature has shown us her power. But with all that power and beauty, she cannot communicate what she wants from us in a conventional manner. This means we must listen and try harder. We must each do our part. Laura Marano said, "Every single person has the power to change the world and help people." We have a responsibility to care for the planet. And sacred texts from around the world's religions have all charged us humans with the responsibility to be good stewards of this beautiful garden. Hindus have never considered earth or nature a hostile environment to be conquered or dominated. Hindu teach to live in harmony with nature and recognize that divinity prevails in all elements, including plants and animals. The Bhagavad Gita teaches, let the human community protect the environment for their own survival and the biodiversity around. The Jews in the Torah wrote, the Lord God put the man in the Garden of Eden to take care of it and look after it. Zoroastrians believe that everything God created is pure and should be treated with love and respect. This includes the natural environment. According to Islam, each man is the custodian of nature and must live in harmony with other creatures. Christians understand that they do not own the world in which we live. The earth, like the vineyard in Jesus' parable, we have been entrusted by its maker and proprietor and tasked with the tending of his garden. This planet is very diverse in thought, but in all my studies, I have found that all religious tenets are fundamentally in accord regarding our critical stewardship over this planet. This is very exciting to me. With nearly 8 billion people on this planet, there has never been more diversity than we have today. This, of course, is the spice of life. And so to find common ground in which we can all work together can be challenging. Now, there are many issues we can work on, but I want to focus mainly on one critical issue. This happens to be something that we can all agree is imperative for our survival, and happens to be something that we can all work on today and have a positive effect immediately. Individually, today we can start to turn things around. We can conserve precious water. The world is made up of roughly 70% water. I'm going to show you my screen really quickly. It's a better visual to be able to see that less than 3% of the world's water is fresh water. And of that 3%, 70% of that is frozen and 29% is underground. That, to me, is a very sobering thought. Am I back on back on me? So, let's see. Are you able to see me once again, or is it still showing my screen?
Okay. Yes, we can see you.
Okay, thanks. So, to me, this is a very sobering thought. As you can see with that diagram, it's incredible how little actual fresh water we have. And like this planet, our bodies are made up of 70% water. Water is imperative for our survival, and we can all agree that it's essential for life. Water keeps us alive. So back in 2019, I made a documentary about water conservation called Finite Water. One of my objectives with the film was to provide solutions that anyone can do, because many times we get overwhelmed by the complexities in solving many issues that affect our world, that we end up doing nothing but being worried and waiting for someone else to solve the problem. But we are all stewards of this planet, and we can all do our part. I did a test a while back with my children. As we would go for walks as a family in the evening, I grabbed a little garbage bag and started filling it up with trash along our path. My children immediately mimicked my actions and started picking up trash with me. On another occasion, I was walking through the parking lot and I saw a piece of trash in my path, and I saw a rubbish bin nearly in my path as well. So I leaned over, picked it up, and threw it away. I was startled when somebody nearby rolled down their window and said, "Thanks, man, I saw that." I was reminded that positivity spreads just like negativity does. So I started making more of an effort and have been grateful for what it has been doing. I have gone even so much as posting only positive and uplifting messages on my social media accounts. Then just the other day, my 4-year-old son saw an empty chair or an empty chip bag on the ground, ran and grabbed it and threw it in the rubbish bin and said, "Dad, I got the garbage." It was so sweet. And it confirmed to me that my kids do learn from my behavior, for better or worse. Imagine for a moment if each of us just resolved to pick up one piece of trash. Would that not make the world a better place? If someone actually accidentally sees us, then maybe in turn emulate our positive behavior. I thought, now what if I apply the same simple change of behavior when it comes to water conservation? And one of my favorite quotes is by Mahatma Gandhi. He said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." Don't wait around for someone else to fix the problems. You and I can start today. And you may just inspire others around you, like a wonderful chain reaction that they may be examples to others, and you and I can start today by conserving water. We are all part of something much bigger. When we reach a sense of peace, we realize that we are part of an enormous construct bigger than our finite brains can imagine. But the teachings from the Urantia book say that we are all extensions of the universe sensing and experiencing itself. We are all connected. We are all important. But as we realize that the world does not revolve around us as individuals, we become more selfless. We begin to think of the future generations and how we can leave this planet better than how we received it. Now, there are travesties that require much more effort, like stopping the unsustainable deforestation going on in the world. And if you get involved and feel so impelled, follow that prompting. But what I want to impress upon you today is that each one of us, we have the duty and responsibility to care for this planet and have the ability to change the world. And we can start by picking up trash around our own neighborhoods and conserving water while brushing your teeth. An empowering quote is found in Alma 37:6 that says, "Behold, I say unto you that by small and simple things are great things brought to pass. And small means in many instances doth confound the wise." Do more because it's our stewardship. Do more because the earth is part of us. We are all connected. John Muir said, "When we try to pick out anything by itself, we find it hitched to everything else in the universe." We are inextricably connected. The more we begin to understand what that means, we get to that healthy balance that we were designed for. Some people have a gift for connecting with animals. One man was called the Elephant Whisperer, Lawrence Anthony. He was from South Africa. And to protect some endangered elephants from poachers, he brought them to his enormous ranch where the poachers couldn't get them. He connected with the elephants because they could somehow sense his compassion for them. This became even more evident after he passed away, because on March 9th of 2012, a pride of 31 elephants came to his home to mourn his loss. To be more effective in becoming better stewards of this planet, it requires us to be in tune and use logic. We need to wrestle with ideas and solve them using our hearts and our minds, and not be dismissive of one or the other. My father has been a science teacher for decades, and he has taught me and my brothers about the complex ecosystems that make up our Mother Earth. When we are careless and irresponsible, we can cause irreparable damage to these delicate ecosystems. In 2 Nephi 2:14, he mentions, "And now, my sons, I speak unto you these things for your profit and learning, that there is a God, and he hath created all things, both heavens and the earth, and in all things that are in them are, both things to act and things to be acted upon." We are connected in this earth. We are connected to this earth. Thich Nhat Hanh, a Buddhist monk, said, "We have been talking about the environment as if it is something different from us, but we are the environment. The non-human elements are our environment, but we are the element of non-human elements. So we are one with the environment. We are the environment." Many people don't realize this, that this planet is a living, breathing organism. Fungi makes up actually more than 90% of Earth's biomass. Almost every step you take, you are literally connecting with a living Earth. Through fungus and plants, an atmosphere was created billions of years ago, and they cleaned the air out of the toxins. Some interesting information here. 30% of the soil we walk on is fungal mass. Fungi outmass plants 8-1, and for every meter of tree root, there is a kilometer of mycelium. Interestingly, our earthly carbon bodies came from fungi. We split about 650 million years ago, and our human bodies are basically advanced fungal masses. We decided to digest food internally, fungus do it externally. They inhale oxygen like we do and exhale carbon dioxide. We are more closely related to fungi than plants. Anyway, fascinating to know that we are more connected than we think. The earth and all things on it are part of God's plan for the redemption of his children and should be used responsibly to sustain the human family. The Dalai Lama said, "Nature cannot wait any longer. The ecological question is the central issue of the survival of mankind." Pope Benedict XVI said, "The environment is God's gift to everyone, and in our use of it, we have a responsibility towards the poor, towards future generations, and towards humanity as a whole. As beneficiaries of this divine creation, we should care for the earth be wise stewards over it, and preserve it for future generations. In the Tao Te Ching, to act virtuously is to be yielding and compliant, and is to avoid struggle against the natural cycle of change in the universe. To act virtuously is to empty the mind of all striving for or attachment to things, and is to maintain tranquility and equanimity. So how do we find balance between utilizing resources with only what we need and maintaining sustainability? Smarter women and men can solve some of the bigger problems, but a few years ago, I worked for a company called Natural Power Concepts in Hawaii that came up with some amazingly large-scale solutions like desalination equipment and wind power generators. This was a wonderful experience, but to me, what was most encouraging is we don't need to invent something to do our part. We can all feel empowered if we step up to our crucial responsibility, and we will make a difference. Use less water, waste less, use only what you need, and show by example to others around you, and also help empower them to fulfill their stewardship. In summary, we cannot achieve true peace if we are not in balance with our environment. All religious tenets feel a responsibility to care for the planet. Only the religion of greed prioritizes profits over the necessary sustainability and stewardship of this beautiful planet. Unfortunately, the religion of greed can permeate every human on the planet regardless of religion. Therefore, each individual has to make the conscious decision to find a sustainable balance. Find what is sufficient for your needs. As the world becomes more populated with humans than it ever has before, now more than ever, we have a much greater obligation to achieve this healthy balance. I would like to leave you with the Native American 10 Commandments. Treat the earth and all things that dwell thereon with respect. Remain close to the Great Spirit. Show great respect for your fellow beings. Work together for the benefit of mankind. Give assistance and kindness wherever needed. Do what you know to be right. Look after the well-being of mind and body. Dedicate a share of your efforts to the greater good. Be truthful and honest at all times. And take full responsibility for your actions. Thank you again for your precious time. I pray for all of you and your happiness as we bring our gifts and talents together. We will make this world a better place now and for future generations. Aloha.